This analysis is going to be whelming, and today I'm going to tell you why Noel Gallagher is one of the best singers in rock and roll and has one of the best techniques in rock and roll.
Don't go away, say what you say. No one I think is in my tree. I mean it must be high or low. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how.
Noel may have never had any sort of vocal lessons in his life. He's figured it out by using his intuition, by using practice and trial and error. He's just one of those very lucky ones who's managed to find this incredible sweet spot in the voice that's very balanced, and he has the musical talent as well, and he applies lots of different details. He's aware of the capabilities of his voice. He's very in touch with it. He seems very present with his voice all the way through the performance, which allows him to make in-the-moment decisions and intelligent decisions, both musically and technically. First of all, we're going to listen to a live rendition of Live Forever.
Baby, don't really wanna know. You gotta go, 'cause I just wanna fly. Said lately, did you ever feel the pain? The morning rain, so true to the bone.
Singing very lightly here, which I really like. Lately, he'll be in his middle voice, so he's not right in his low range and it's not right in his high range. He's in the middle, which is arguably the hardest area to master, but also the sort of juiciest area. So it is good to work on the middle voice. But listen to what happens next. He changes his technique and he goes into like more of a mixed voice. So you'll hear like less of the lightness and more of the kind of gathering or bunching of the voice, or more chest voice, more speechiness.
Baby, I just wanna fly. I wanna live, I don't wanna die. Baby, I just wanna breathe. Baby, I just don't believe. Baby, oh, same as me. We see things they'll never see.
Near that switch in between mixed voice and lighter voice, mixed voice and lighter voice, or compression and less compression, squeezing the vocal cords, backing off the vocal cords. Maybe I just wanna die, like that. You get like a yodeling effect. He's got so many choices with his voice, Noel. He's obviously taking care of his voice. He's found a spot in the voice. He's found a technique that works for him, and he's gone with it, and it's just got stronger over the years. And he's now technically a very, very good singer, as well as having the artistry. So he has all these strings to his bow. He's great. He's phenomenal. It strikes me as well how much smokiness, pharyngeal resonance, and release is in the tone as well. So he's got like the resonance kind of shimmers. Maybe I just want to die. Ow. It's almost kind of souly, right? And he also has this sort of smoky undertone. But anyway, let's carry on listening. The next one is Wonderwall. Again, it's a live performance. This one was about 10 years ago.
Today was gonna be the day they were gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you got to do.
Can I just say that phrasing? We all know Wonderwall. We know what the original one sounds like. He's just brought so much soul and character and artistry into this version. By the way, I'm not somebody who goes around saying that Noel's the talented singer and Liam isn't. I may well do a separate video on Liam singing because he's a different kettle of fish and he deserves his own analysis. But I just love this rendition. Noel really plays to his strengths. It's almost like he's trying to get away from the original sound and lean into something else. It's a very sort of muso performance. Like, you can tell he's a great musician. even just listening to his singing voice. You can tell that he's making these very nuanced and detailed artistic choices, which are separate to the technique, just in terms of what he's choosing to emphasize, which notes he's choosing not to hang on to, where he's syncopating the rhythm, changing up the melody a little bit. Today was gonna be the day. It's totally bluesy. It's like it's a different genre.
By now you should have somehow realized what you got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Now, this is why Noel is a technique master and an absolute master of singing in the middle voice, right? That's one of the hardest things to do. Leaping up from that, I don't believe that, that's hard, right? That interval, and also going to a big vowel like and also having it loud. Obviously there's the distortion is on the tone. He's put some distortion, some like croakiness, crackliness. That can sort of help give you a boost up to those notes. And it can also sometimes hide some of the imperfections as well. But the way he went into that note, right? Now, I believe he's intrinsically worked this out for himself. He went in on a narrow vowel. He went in on an I, and it's only a split second, right? So he went, I don't believe that anybody, like that. So you go in on a narrow vowel like I, and once you're there, you drive it and then widen the vowel whilst you're sort of accelerating the energy. Just listen again. You hear a split second of it gives himself a instead of just straight onto the note. Very clever.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Noel Gallagher, mix master.
A backbeat, the word was on the street that the fire in your heart went out. And I'm sure you read it on before, but did you ever really have a doubt? I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do.
He's got like dark vowels coming in as well, like feels like the R quality vowels, like the almost grungy vowels. There's so much detail. The thing is, the thing that makes his voice really special is that he's mastered his technique and he's now got so many options and he uses all the options. So from 1 second to the next, his voice is doing different things. It's on different compressions, like different levels of weight and squeeze. So the resonance gets varied, right? The intensity gets varied, all in rapid succession. So it's like a treat for the ears. It's like there's loads of exciting things all going on at once. And he's very comfortable to listen to. Like, you never have a moment of thinking, what? He's not going to make that note. Like, he easily makes the note. And you can kind of trust him to make decisions in the moment that's going to ensure that he makes that note. So you can just sit back and relax and just let it come at you.
All the lights and light our way are blinded. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how.
His tone is so gorgeous. You can hear that smoky tone. He's got like he just leans into, like, wherever he finds a really nice spot in his voice, wherever he finds a really nice tone, he's got like the sort of discernment to know how to play to his strengths, like what to lean into. Like, oh, this is a juicy tone, let's do a bit more of that. Like, oh, I found a nice area or spot in the voice here, let's do a bit more of that. He strikes me as like a really intuitive, like very, like highly intelligent singer, you know?
There are many things that I would like to say to you.
Totally souly. It's bending to a pitch bends. There are many things that I like. That's not Oasis anymore, but he still keeps like that Mancunian accent, like a lot of and ooh. in the tone. Like, you can still tell it's him. You can still tell what part of the world he's from, like which part of England he's from. So I love that as well. It's like doing like almost like a souly and Mancunian scene crossover. It's just juicy and exciting. This one is Slide Away from about 16 years ago by the looks of it.
Slide away, give it all you got. My today, you fell in from the top.
Listen to that call and response. He's got like heavy, like really leaning into the voice, like almost like that mixed voice quality, and then a response on a lighter compression. So it's like, and then
Hold me down, 'cause all the world's asleep. I need you now.
Just listen to that. It just never moves out of this pocket. He's found this incredible tonal pocket, and he just sings into it just with ease and finesse. It's just beautiful.
Now that you're mine, we'll find a way of chasing the sun. If you let me be the one that shines with you.
This chorus is perhaps musically less interesting, in my opinion, than the verses. The verses are they have some sort of fanciness, ornateness, quite nuanced musically, move around a bit more than the chorus is kind of anthemy, right? Something that you can sing along to whilst waving a lighter, or showing my age now. One of those, like, I don't know, a vape or something, a glow stick. You can sing along to it whilst waving a glow stick. But it still sounds interesting because of his tone. He still varies up the tone. He still varies up the compression amounts and the vocal weight. Let's move on to our final clip. This is Talk Tonight at the O2 Arena, possibly about 10 years ago again.
Chewing on a bone 1,000,000,000 miles from home.
Right, you know what you're looking for now, so just see how it's like sometimes leaning in and it's intense, and then sometimes like pretty and relaxed, you know. It's a real juxtaposition. He's this kind of stereotypical like hard Mancunian singing rock and roll in this kind of gnarly and gritty way, but then in the same song he's doing this beautiful, light, soft, very tender, musically finessed singing as well, you know. It's a nice, almost paradoxical combination.
Hit me somewhere out between the eyes.
There's something that I hadn't heard him do before. He used a bit of the cry quality. Hear me, hear. Bit more grungy, you know? Because why not? Noel may have never had any sort of vocal lessons in his life, or like a lot of famous singers do, they kind of suss things out for themselves. They just do their thing, right? And then if they run into vocal problems, they'll go to a vocal teacher. Or if they just need some help, you know. Some singers, especially the really successful ones, they manage to intrinsically figure this stuff out. They figure out their technique through trial and error, through the sheer number of times that they have to perform and record and practice. They're using their voices all the time. And if you do that, you start to get to know your voice inside out. So while, I mean, he may have the jargon for it, but I'm assuming he doesn't. He might not be able to say, yeah, I'm compressing my voice here, and I'm making I'm singing on a lighter weight here, and I'm singing into this pocket, and I'm narrowing my vowel. He would probably be like, what are you talking about? But yeah, he's figured it out by using his intuition, by using practice and trial and error and what works. And he's just one of those very lucky ones who's managed to find this incredible sweet spot in the voice that's very balanced, and he has the musical talent as well, and he applies lots of different details. He's aware of the capabilities of his voice. He's very in touch with it. He seems very present with his voice all the way through the performance, which allows him to make in the moment decisions and intelligent decisions, both musically and technically. And I just find him an extremely impressive singer. He's one of my favorite. As always, please comment down below who else you'd like to see me analysing. Unfortunately, a lot of the time with the newer singers, there's not much footage that's actually live. Or it's live and then it's been tweaked and tuned. Pitch correction doesn't just affect the pitch. Lots of people use a bit of pitch correction on the recordings, but it affects the tone and it affects the way it comes across, and it makes it, the main thing is it makes it look like they're doing something that they're actually not, or that they're not doing something that they actually are. It's hard to actually properly analyze what they're doing with this sort of new high level of pitch correction that's going on. So you know, if I don't get to your suggestions, it may well be to do with that. But anyway, I digress. I hope you enjoyed this reaction / analysis. Go and have a listen to Noel live. Just the Jules Holland show, the Jules Holland show, the Abbey Road studio sessions, some of the older footage with High Flying Birds, some of the really keyed down, dialed back kind of unplugged sessions, like on the Howard Stern show. Just, you can learn so much from him about technique, just listening to what he does, you know, but just to enjoy his voice, very special. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.